Foreign Sisters. I'm Ligii.
And I'm Kitty.
And today we're going to talk about adulting.
Yes. Yes, we are. We have a little list prepared to talk through some certain points. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so why don't we start about when was the first time we felt as adults? Do you remember any specific moment?
First time. I think in the past few years there have been probably a couple of moments where it's like, oh, I felt like this is it, like I'm already an adult. Probably moving to country and living on my own. Well, living in my own in the uni accommodation was probably quite a big thing, having my own room. And I think in this period, buying pans and cutlery and stuff like that felt like, oh yeah, this is adulting. And getting a proper job, that was another one, I think.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there were levels to adulthood in a way. Because I know after I moved out of my parents' house, I was like, oh, I'm an adult now. But then I really also wasn't at the same time, you know. I wasn't as independent as I think I am now. And it's just like the mindset just wasn't there at the time. And even moving countries, that was a big deal. But I still was like a kid.
Yes.
In a way. And it just felt like we're all just kids pretending to be adults for a big while. And only I feel like lately, I'd say the last 2 years maybe, for me personally, I've been like, okay, maybe I am. Maybe I am an adult, you know, I'm paying council tax and sorting all the bills. I think that, to me, I was like, oh my God, I'm living by myself. I have to call the water company and understand what's happening with my water bills, and like, you know, making all of these calls to people by myself, being like, I live there by myself, you know.
Getting Wi-Fi sorted.
Yes, I feel like that really was like, I'm an adult now. And
yes. I think it was when I moved in with my ex-partner in a house. We were renting like a tiny house, and before we moved in, it didn't have any furniture in there. So actually getting the pieces of furniture felt like, oh God. Buying a mattress was a whole thing. I was like, how does one even choose a mattress? And that felt like, well, that's it. This seems to be a big thing. But yeah, I think I do agree. Like, even looking back now, the first few times when you have like this, oh, this feels like an adult thing. It wasn't fully really that. Only, I think, similar to you, only a few years, only like 2 or 3 years back, it felt like, even I would say maybe even this year, I feel like I'm adulting more than probably before.
I'm finally looking at my health a bit more seriously, I feel like. So I guess you could say that's adult-like. Because it is important and it costs money, and you know, making a dentist appointment, not because you're in pain, but you know, just as a checkup. I feel like that's like, oh, I've hit adulthood now. I'm one of them people. But
yes, health, or prioritizing sleep over other things and commitments. For me, is probably quite a thing.
Not drinking as much anymore. Like, obviously we went to uni and, you know, things happened. But I feel like that back then there was no issue of us drinking every night.
No.
Like, sometimes there were weeks when we go out on Tuesday, on a Wednesday, you know, but nowadays it's like, okay, maybe once every 2 weeks, and then it's like a pint of cider and I'm done. So it feels like more healthier, but also, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me as much anymore. Like, I don't want to escape my feelings, and I don't need to use substances to have fun with my friends and talk to people. So adulthood.
Yes. When it transfers from being just partying with your friends to actually doing other activities with friends, like which doesn't include drinking. That kind of feels, even though you might be playing board games, but it still feels better, like a bit more adult-like than just drinking and like getting wasted and ending up in a club. Well, not that it doesn't happen ever again.
Yeah. You still have to have fun sometimes.
Yes, but it's just not the main fun entertainment activity of your like week, month.
Yes. We're gonna see any other prompts. But yeah, so you've written down about work stuff.
Oh yes, I think when you realize that people are relying on you, that is kind of a sign that's like, okay, I guess I'm an adult now. Like people are looking for answers like through you in work related things.
I still feel like there's a word for it, but I don't feel like I feel like I don't know, like they shouldn't be asking me things, because I'm like, yes, I know, but like you're 50. Why I'm still a kid, you know? So sometimes I'm still like, why are you asking me? Like, surely you should know. And it's just weird to get over that for me sometimes. But then I'm like, I have to remind myself, you know, I know what I'm doing, and I have other responsibility. You know, it's sometimes it's hard. It's like, oh, you are 26. You are an adult. You're not 16 anymore.
Yes, I do feel, because when I started my job that I work at now, I was only 20, maybe 21. I felt very young, and I was the youngest in the company back then as well. And even up until now, actually, it feels like sometimes I am the one who still needs to, you know, I'm still learning. I still need to I don't know things, but at the same time, I'm doing things that are like, oh yeah, I am doing them on my own, kind of a thing. Recent experience is probably the work event that we were organizing, and it's like a lot of the sponsors and stuff, like everyone was coming to me to find like some answers and to know what's happening where and what. That kind of felt like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. I'm the one who's like pushing this thing forward, I guess.
Yes. And we're the ones planning the trips. It's not our parents anymore, so if we want to go somewhere, we actually can. And there's nothing really stopping us, so it's kind of great.
There's the feeling of freedom.
Yes,
that you can do whatever you want with your time. On the other hand, can you? It's a different question, I guess. Can you afford it? Do you have time?
Yes.
But yes, it's really nice.
Pregnancy.
Oh. Oh yes, I wrote out an example when someone tells you that they've got pregnant, or like at this age when someone gets pregnant, it's like, oh shit. The first thought was like, oh god, what are you gonna do? Are you like, we're too young for this, but then afterwards it's like almost like, oh man, I do need to think about kids.
Yes.
Like it's the time. We're not like, I'm not 18 anymore as well, so it's not like, even if it was an accident, it would be like, wow.
Yeah, we can deal with it, you know. There are options and things we can do and plan things, and it's just, it's nearer than we think nowadays. It's like, and when we're meeting people, like on dates, that is a conversation that happens quite early nowadays. It's like, okay, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Because if you guys don't agree, what's the point of dating? Because like, it's getting to an age where it's like, I don't want to experiment anymore. I don't want to find out anymore. I want to like settle, right? So it's
like you are thinking more about the future.
Yes.
Like already from the beginning when you meet, I guess, new people and stuff. It's quite an important part. Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, before, like 5 years ago, I was like, well, whatever. You know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, we still have time, and now it's like we don't really have time.
So yeah, I would say that what's adulting about this is more like the fact that I do need to think about these things, that they are in my mind, and it's a bit like, on one hand, it's kind of scary, especially like, well, for us as women, and you know,
time is pregnant. But yeah, also even I feel like the living situation is a bit different than it was before, because before I was like, oh, who cares where I live?
Mhm.
You know, like it doesn't matter. And now I've found myself thinking like, oh, I can't stay living in here in this little town because like where are my kids gonna go to school? Like how am I gonna get them the best life that's possible? You know, like with all of the extracurriculars and activities. And I was just there like, wow. I don't even have kids, and I'm already thinking about, oh, this isn't a great
Location,
area for schools. You know, it's just like crazy.
True.
But yeah, it is something that I'm thinking about. I'd say sometimes even daily, or like maybe not to an extreme, but it's in my mind, and yeah, it's just bettering ourselves for the future at the moment. And yeah, it feels like I'm still the same me that I kind of was ages ago, but it's just a different level of me, and my just views and everything really have changed. And sometimes even like if I don't like a certain person, like as a friend, in the past I was like, who cares? But nowadays it's like, oh no, like our political views are so like very different, and then it's like, oh, I'm not quite sure if I can hang out with them because what if it comes up? And you know, it depends what's important to you. And it's just like crazy because when I was like 18 we didn't even talk about things like that.
No, yeah, like what politics? What do you mean?
And now it's just like it sometimes creeps up in conversations, and it's
and I do think it's also just the timing of world events right now is also quite probably something that brings this conversation up a lot more. I imagine.
Yes.
Because before it seemed like everything was somewhat calm, and now things are
crazy.
Things are crazy.
Yeah,
it's wild out there, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But what were you saying? Something that made me feel like, yeah, I think adulting. I think only in the recent maybe months, I feel like maybe there's certain areas of life where you have like this, you've built this understanding that what's like good for you, or like what you enjoy more than other things. If back like 5 years ago I was more focused on, oh, I need to be included in a group of people or included in this environment, so I need to like whatever the other people like, or enjoy or whatever. And now it's like I know that it's okay for me to not like certain things and not want to do certain things, and just do what's good for me.
Yeah,
prioritize your well-being and
yes.
wants and likes and everything.
Definitely, I think like that's something I've learned as well, is to not change for others.
Yes.
Because I'm the person I spend the most time with, and like I have to enjoy myself and be by myself. So if I change myself, well, surely I'm not gonna be happy. Right? I don't know. But yeah, it's also solitude is something I've had to learn, because I'm living by myself and it's great, but sometimes it also isn't. So it's been very great to have this opportunity, because I know not everybody does. Because some people get married when they're 20 and they have kids straight away, and it's been a different journey and a lot of lessons about what I like, what I don't like, how I like spending my days, what I need to improve on for me and maybe for others as well. And it's just how I show up for myself and people I love. I feel like that's not something I really thought about before. I was just like, yeah, I'll meet you for a coffee. But now it's like, I know that that's not important. It's like about being there and listening and, being supportive, and sometimes being harsh and honest and being like, what have you done? But yeah, I feel like but I feel like, it's I feel like I've lost a lot of friends, but I also wouldn't say that I'm the most upset about it, because they have been like journeys and lessons, and
yeah, well, about friends, I think for me it's like accepting the fact that all the friendships won't look the same, or like they won't look like they looked like 5 years ago and stuff, and that's okay. And still you can still enjoy the people and the company, but you don't have to know everything that's happening in their lives constantly all the time to be friends and to be there for each other. I think that's probably a big part. Not that I don't think I was like chasing it, but I was definitely like getting more upset about
Yeah,
things.
because we
like,
were used to it though. Because
yes,
we're used to like seeing each other
every
like,
day.
every day, like in school, and then in uni you had uni friends, you know, and then after uni it was like, oh my god,
yeah, like it was
when
different.
am I gonna see you, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was.
And it was a hard transition, I would say. That was something that I felt like, yeah, it felt sad, but I think nowadays I'm more accepting to like about it. Like I don't mind. We all have lives, like we all are a bit busy, and it just makes sense, and then you do whatever you can.
Exactly. And I've realized that relationships and friendships, everything like works both ways. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so upset because they haven't messaged me for months. Well, have I messaged them? And then if I have, then okay, you know, I've tried. I can't like be that upset about it, because clearly it's the wrong maybe season, maybe the season has finished and the story has finished there, and you know, things happen. Some people are married and have families, and you know, they have different priorities, and I also know that I'm never going to be everybody's favorite and the most important person. That's why I have me for that, you know. I have to prioritize myself, and yeah, and I feel like that's something I had to learn, because I used to like put everybody else first, and then I was so unhappy, I was depressed, and everything was just falling apart, and I was like, why? Because like I'm such a good friend, but I was such an awful friend to myself. And I think you have to love yourself first to be able to give love to others, and yeah, I'm working on that.
Yes, yeah. The whole thing that was like you were trying to fill everyone else's cups before your cup was full, and I think that is probably the lesson I've learned in the last couple of years. It's like you can't give love or anything, energy or like the space for someone to vent, even if you yourself are not in a decent place, or like you yourself don't know how to deal with your own things, like your own emotions and everything. So yeah, I think that's been quite a big lesson. That's quite that's quite adult thinking, I imagine.
And also therapy,
yes.
Yeah, we're actually working on issues of the past and bettering ourselves, and I feel like that was quite a big step.
Yes, that is
and it was a hard step.
Like self-care / it was like admitting that you need help.
Yeah, and not even that, sometimes it's just good to talk about things that you should talk about and you want to talk about or you need to talk about, and you know that the other person aren't judging you. Well, they shouldn't, at least, right? And I feel like that was something everybody really should do, and even if you feel like you're okay, there's probably something that you need to work on, because we all have some sort of trauma, I feel like, and parents have passed something on to us, you know. But yeah, it's good to have that space, I feel like, because I feel also has opened my eyes about a lot of things about myself. I feel like it's important.
Yes, it's important. I think from adulting perspective, it's almost like you knew that you needed something, some help, or something that you want to do, something like you want to work on yourself, and you actually went and got it.
Yes.
You know, you weren't just sitting there like, oh, life sucks. I don't like anything, everything's going shit, and like you were also not really doing anything about it, I guess. Like understanding that it is in your hands to do some certain things, certain areas you can improve.
Yeah, if you want change, be the change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, therapy. I think it's a big thing. But I guess it's not a requirement for someone to be adult, because there are like actually healthy people out there.
Yes.
Oh, you were mentioning about traumas, and it doesn't always have to be like a massive, like from childhood or like anything else. It can be also day-to-day things, because at some point when I was doing therapy, I was also during the week there were a lot of things that were kind of building up within me, like all these different stresses or like worries and or the other feelings or other situations that kind of made me think about certain things, that like it was worth to talk through them with someone. But I guess it's not like you don't need therapy necessary, like it's not necessary to have therapy for that. I guess this is something that you could work through with your friends if you wanted to. Actually talking about things instead of just oh yeah, everything's fine.
yeah like being honest with yourself as well.
I mean, it is hard. It is hard to tell people, like it's actually kind of tough right now and stuff. And or like you don't want to feel like a burden and like it's a whole thing. But I think the adulting part is that you start to kind of put it all together. You start to understand yourself. You give yourself some grace. You give other people grace, and you just kind of like work through it. And eventually, it will be easier.
Yes.
It's still a process to learn and go through. I don't think, I'm not like at the finish line yet. Will never be. Yeah. Until the end.
There's always room for improvement, and but that's what life is about.
Yes.
Yeah. Your next point is doing things by yourself.
Well, you kind of touched on it when you were saying living alone.
But I remember like when I was younger, it was scary to do anything by yourself. Like I would never go to a cafe by myself to get a coffee, or to even like go to a bakery for a pastry. It was like, what do you mean I'm going by myself, And nowadays it's like, sometimes I enjoy just days by myself. Like I'll take myself out, I'll grab a coffee to go, I'll have a pastry, and it's not a big deal. And I've seen like videos on Instagram or like people just being like, I'm going to the cinema by myself and it's okay, and it's scary that we're scared of that as people.
Like what?
Like we're scared to be by ourselves or
in social in like public places, especially
because nobody actually judges.
No,
like you don't even notice people most of the time, right?
No. Like even if you do, like it's like, so what? And quite often like it's different circumstances. Some people may be traveling for work and like they are on their own. Like, what, are they not supposed to eat? Are they not supposed to go around and stuff? Doing things alone. When I was writing down this point, I was thinking about the recent event that I went to alone. I think I went to this like the same female invest event 2 years ago or something. That felt, well, I was kind of like rushing in between like things, but there I remember feeling like a bit more anxious, a bit more uncomfortable, and being like, oh, I wish I actually had someone with me. So now, a couple of weeks ago when I went, I still wished like it would be nice to have someone to come with me, but at the same time I still went to the event and I had so much fun, and I socialized with the other people, with like these two ladies, which I really, really enjoyed, and I am very proud of myself. Like it felt really good to be able to enjoy this event and everything while being by myself as well. And that felt adulting. Like I was like, wow, I can't believe I even talked to two people.
Yeah, it is the freedom, but like about yourself, like the freedom within, like for not to fear, like feel fear. And I feel like now I acknowledge the fact that everybody's going through the same thing pretty much, and like who cares? Nobody really cares, and it's my life, and the end of the day, like it's gonna be me who's sleeping in the bed thinking about how my day went, and will I feel better if I got that pastry by myself, or will I be like, oh damn it, I couldn't do it again. I wanted to try it and I couldn't because there was nobody with me. And it's a bit sad. And I'm glad I'm over that, and who cares?
I'm thinking back, to be fair, I had gone to events and everything like by myself, even while being in school, which was, I don't even know why I was doing it. I was more like, oh, I want to learn. I was actually going to these talks to learn. I wasn't thinking about the social part of it. That's why I also never really like spoke to anyone at these events. But I guess I did start early. And it maybe helped, I don't know. And it just reminded me how, I guess back then, I don't remember. I was trying to push myself out of comfort zone. I think that was a whole thing. So I was probably very stressed, if I'm honest, that much.
I remember I used to be scared of like getting deliveries, like of like, when you order delivery, like a takeout or something.
Yes.
And I never did it by myself. And then like a year ago, I was like, you know what? I really fancy McDonald's. And then I was like, I'm gonna buy that bullet and I'm gonna order that food and it's gonna be fine. And I was so nervous the whole time. And I don't even understand why.
Yeah.
You know? And then I got it and I ate it and it was great. And then I was like, you know what? I can do this. And ever since then, like sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, like a bit anxiety, but it's nothing like it was before.
Mm.
So it really is like crazy what our minds can do to us.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because it's mostly in your head. It's
Yeah.
mostly in your head, and or yeah, I guess yeah. And it's just you need to not lie to yourself as well about certain things. For example, you wanted to go out to a certain event, but maybe you're too tired. So instead of seeing how you feel, but instead of pushing yourself to be at this event because you said you'll be there, maybe you need to be like, you know what, I really I can't, and like don't torture yourself by going there and then being like, oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to, because like sometimes if I'm tired and you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if you want to go, it could be also the anxiety speaking, and then you actually go and then you have so much fun. Yeah, that's a tricky one. You need to, that's why it's like you need to understand within yourself where it's coming from. No, it's cool. It's cool. Doing things by yourself is actually quite alright. I never really seen, I always was a bit not amazed, when I never really thought about it, but when someone said that they would never be able to eat alone by themselves at a restaurant or something, I was like, but if you're hungry, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was weird, but then again, I never thought about myself going to a place alone. I can see why it would be like intimidating and a little bit scary.
Yes, yes. But it isn't. It isn't.
Yes.
It isn't anymore.
Yes.
What are some things you wish you knew before becoming an adult? I guess nothing for me. Because I feel like everything I didn't know gave me an opportunity to learn it, and maybe, yes, some experiences weren't the greatest, and sometimes I did have a horrible time, but it's growth. Like, it taught me a lesson and I understand things differently now, and I feel like I'm always going to be evolving into hopefully a better version of myself, because even if I compare myself to a year ago, crazy.
Yes, true. Anything I would have wanted to know? I don't know.
Is there anything you recently maybe learned as an adult and you were like, oh my god, how did I not know this before?
You know, sometimes when you see on Instagram those videos where they're like, oh, I only figured this out when I'm 30. Some of these things have been like, oh yeah. I mean, it would have been cool to know it earlier, I guess. But it's not like something major. Good to know. I think I was thinking about this the other day. Not that it would be something that you need to, because not that it would need to be something that you need to know earlier on. It's because I think people are already telling you when you're young, like, oh, don't worry about these things. It doesn't matter. Well, and like when you're young, you're kind of like, you hear that, but it doesn't click to you. Like, it doesn't, like, it's not like you can stop worrying about these things. It seems like your whole world depends, your whole life depends on this one, I don't know, occasion or like event that you're going to, or you need to do like a project or something. But yeah, now looking back after like school and uni and like being like living on your own, like working for a while, you look back at those problems that you had before, you were stressing about them so much, where you could have just, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't even remember the issues I was stressing about, but I remember like me being like crying and stressing, you know, but I can't remember what over.
It was,
So clearly it didn't matter.
No.
It didn't matter at all. But at that time it felt like so huge and this life-ending thing.
Yes, yeah. It seems like if something goes wrong, that's it. It's end. But it actually wasn't.
Remember it.
No, it actually wasn't the end. You know, and you maybe, and by stress, the only issue is like, maybe if you hadn't stressed so much, you might have enjoyed like certain things in the process back then. And I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that it would have been good to kind of somehow get this sense of feeling like, it's okay, everything will be fine, everything will, you know, go as it needs to be, and you will figure it out, and you don't have to worry about it and like put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And actually, instead of putting the pressure on yourself, try to be like in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were saying that, in my mind popped up the thing that our parents used to say, like, don't worry about it, you'll understand when you're older. And I feel like now I'm older and I do understand some of those things, you know?
But it wasn't helpful back then, was it? It felt like, well, you
there's
don't know.
a secret, yeah.
You don't live this, like it's not your life. You don't know how to think.
Or they'd say, just you wait, you know, when we were like stressing about something that didn't matter, and they were like, just you wait. Yeah. And now I'm like that, I'm like, yeah, maybe I get it, but it definitely wasn't helpful back then as a teenager.
No.
Having teenager emotions.
And hormones, right? To be fair. I mean, maybe that's why it was all so intense as well back then.
Yes, definitely.
Now only, you know, after the brain has developed, you have this wisdom.
What advice would you give somebody who's just becoming an adult? Just enjoy it. Honestly.
Prepare for a wild drive.
Yeah, and just try to learn about yourself as much as you can, because that's the only person that really matters in your life. Like, obviously, yes, you'll have friends and family, but you're gonna be spending 24/7 with yourself, so make that the most important relationship, I suppose. Learn about your likes, your dislikes, and
yes, and how you do it is be open to experiences, be open to things, be open to meet new people,
but also learn how to say no.
Yes, but like that's like you need to develop that feeling inside, like what feels wrong to you. Maybe don't do these things, but on the other hand, like don't close off, don't be too scared from the world. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, be open. And also another thing, I guess, even if you went to somewhere where you maybe shouldn't have, maybe you didn't enjoy being there at the end, don't guilt yourself over it afterwards. It's like, okay, well, no, you know that this is not the type of thing that you want to do anymore, you know, or like, just, it's fine. Because how else are you gonna know if you don't want to go, I don't know, motorcycling? What if you never did it? You don't know. And if you did it and you hated it, well, at least that's it, you know, you don't have to do it again. But don't be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done it, like, why, like, I made this big mistake. And
nothing is as major most of the time as it seems at the time. And a few years down the line, you're gonna not even remember most of it. So don't be too harsh on yourself, and give yourself some grace and love, and
yes, everything will be fine. You'll find friends, you'll have alright time in school, you'll have a good, decent job, and if you don't, you'll find, like, you will figure things out.
You have time.
You have time. You don't have to become a millionaire by 20.
Yeah, and even though we're saying, like we did say before, like, we're running out of time for kids, there's always time. There's always
even
options
that is actually,
to do, you know. There's always something you can do about it, and there is no timeline for anything. You set your own rules for your own life, and take each step when you feel ready, and when it feels right.
Yes, don't compare your life to others. Even if you're the same age, you are coming from a completely different background, which is definitely impacting you in different ways. And that's why, like, just because someone is super successful at 18, it doesn't mean that you're less successful, you know.
Because you have different battles to fight and different things to learn.
Wow, beautiful.
Well, this is us together.
Yes, in person.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you very, very soon.